This one is from my one and only true love, Princess Peach.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Speeding Through the Motions. I'm here again with my big bro, Seth Peterson.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
But today I'm Luigi and he's Mario.
Hey, Mario.
He's got the mustache going, looking good, looking pretty fly. I still kept the beard. I should have shaved off the mustache.
Sam did not want to shave that. I asked him, like, hey, we should get mustaches, but Sam was like, been working on this for too long. Like, it looks too good, so
my beard just looks too good right now. It's nice and full.
I'm jealous. Yeah, I wanted to shave it not because for the review that's Mario related, but just because I wanted to get rid of it so people could give him so many compliments.
Yeah.
It was so annoying. What are we talking about again, Sam?
I don't know. Something like
Come on, Sam, you practice this. You rehearsed this.
my computer's not working.
Leave it in suspense.
Super Mario Brothers!
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about Super Mario Bros., our thoughts with it, and everything like that. This is not just like another animated movie that kids go to see. This is something that we all grew up with. Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii. It didn't matter what console you used. You were very deeply connected with these video games.
I think Mario's like over 40 or so years old or something like that.
Oh, really?
Okay. Maybe. I think it's like around 40 years old, which is pretty crazy. And this is the first good Mario movie we've ever had.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And speaking of that, I don't know if you guys have known all of this, but this isn't the first adaptation of Super Mario Bros. There's been another previous adaptation of this movie, and it turns out that this was the first video game to film live action film adaptation ever. And these guys, these fools, look at that stance, bro.
We look way better than
we look 10 times better than these dudes. But no, this was
No, Sam, you gotta do the...
Alright, you're right.
That's a thumbnail.
Look, guys.
Alright, cool. Anyways.
Look at the power stands, bro. Goodness. I don't want to mess with these guys, but yeah, this was the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, and just by the look of it, it just doesn't look that great.
Yeah, it's not cool.
But
not cool.
But at least they tried, right? Let's take a look at it just to see with our own eyes, just to see how
we have to.
Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.
Jeez.
That felt forever.
Whoops.
Not forever ago. That trailer was so long.
Yeah, we weren't even a thought. We
Nope.
weren't even an idea, and that movie came out. Gosh,
So,
I hate every minute of that trailer.
That was so long.
And that's just a trailer. That's not even the movie.
Like, oh my goodness. I probably enjoyed that a lot more if it weren't Mario related.
Right.
But that's not the movie we're reviewing.
That's not what we're
We
talking
spent
about
so much
today.
time watching the trailer for something we're not even reviewing. I'm like, oh. I'm really thankful we have something a lot better than that.
We're talking about this one.
Yeah, that's the one.
A lot different. So that other movie that we were just talking about just shows that this is what happens when you stray away from the original content, the original video games and the original content that they
Source
had.
material.
So-
But I'm glad that they goofed up so badly, so it made people really learn from their mistakes, so that we got something like this. Because I, for one, it was really well done, but maybe I feel like they could have done better. We'll talk a bit more about that. But general thoughts. I enjoyed it. I was overloaded with like nostalgia and stuff like that throughout, and it was visually pleasing. If you're not the biggest Mario fan, I think you'll have like a ton of fun watching this. It's a fun enough world building, fun enough characters, fun enough adventure, and so you're like, okay, like this is pretty fun. It's cute. But as a Mario fan, I think you'll get a lot more from it. Doesn't mean it'll be your favorite thing ever if you're a Mario fan. I'd say I'm a Mario fan, but it's not my favorite thing ever. But we'll get more into it after we hear from Sam.
Yeah. So original thoughts. I saw this like in a trailer a few months back. It was just like the scene with Mario falling into the Mushroom Kingdom, just falling in there, and he's like, what is going on here? And he meets Toad, and I'm like, why the heck does he have an American accent? And why is this dude, like, Italian? So that kind of bothered me at first. I was like, what is Nintendo doing? But I was curious, honestly, because I grew up on this, and yeah, just had a lot of expectations to go with it, too, because I didn't want them to mess this up. And they delivered. They stayed true to the source material. Mario and Luigi weren't just brothers, but I felt like they had a close bond. They were friends, and all these characters that they met along the way, I felt like that happened pretty organically, and the story just flowed super well. I was a really big fan of Jack Black being Bowser. I thought that was
definitely the standout.
Perfect casting.
And you wouldn't think that'd be the case. Like, you'd think, oh, he probably enjoys the source material, but like to cast him as Bowser, you'd probably think like, I don't know, because you just have, when you think Jack Black, you have a pretty good idea of like what he can do, and you don't really think Bowser initially. And I don't think he'll be as typecast in the future movies or projects he does, because he's so different in this, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't even recognize his voice when he first came on screen.
If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known at all that was him.
Absolutely. But
and I enjoyed everyone else as well. I don't think there was a single weak link.
Yeah.
There's some people who like were probably did a better job as that character, but some people who just like they were like, when I hear other people's reviews, they say that like Peach and like Donkey Kong, they weren't good, or they won't say they're not good. They're just like Charlie Day, for example, as Luigi. They say like, oh, he embodied that character, but like Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach or Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, like, oh, they didn't embody it. They did their job fine.
They're just there.
They're just, I don't know, but like the more I think about, okay, so I actually kind of had somewhat of a problem with Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong because he's just Seth Rogen. But like the more I think about it, I'm like, the more I'm okay with him being Donkey Kong. I don't know what kind of voice I expected to be Donkey Kong. I guess like more like a deeper voice. I don't know, because he's a gorilla. I don't know, but like I get with it the more I think about it. So
I feel like I didn't have that big of a problem with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I really like Princess Peach.
I just thought it was an interesting casting. Princess Peach.
I think she was one of my favorites.
She was my favorite.
I think for one thing because everyone had been praising like everyone else, and so which I really enjoyed. But since I didn't hear as much about Peach, it just surprised me more because she was so good. The actress Anya Taylor-Joy, and she was such an enjoyable character as well. And I liked their dynamic, Peach and Mario. That's something that people don't talk about as much. They talk more so about Mario and Luigi, which was really good until they're split. But whenever they're on screen together.
Bro, if you want an advocate for short kings, this is your man.
Peach makes a joke at least twice. She's like,
oh yeah, she like, totally roasts him.
So short. And he's like, my goodness, Mamma Mia, not that short.
Mamma Mia, you don't gotta flame me this hard.
But so something from the games is that, as we know, when you just about. In my mind, I was like, oh, literally any game is Mario trying to save Peach. Apparently, there's a lot of other games where, like, Peach is, like, a character alongside Mario, which is true. But, like, I'd say if you think of a plot for a Mario game, you're thinking Mario has to save Peach from Bowser. and she's trapped by him, and like Mario and Luigi go save her. In this one, Luigi's in captive, and Peach is the one that is on the adventure, and which makes sense nowadays because we have to have empowered women and such. So it makes a lot of sense, and I didn't think of her as a Mary Sue. We talked about this a bit. I think of like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel recently. Like, people had a problem because she's just like, oh, I can do everything. Like, oh, I don't need a man to help me with my stuff. I'm independent. No, thank you. And people are just like, okay. Like, oh, she can do everything. So it's like, she's not an interesting character. But with like Peach, I was thinking of Andrew, and he's like, oh, she can do everything. She doesn't need anyone. Oh, and he's gonna have a big problem. But
Andrew would definitely have a fit.
He's gonna have. I kind of want to, but she's not like a Captain Marvel type.
Yeah.
Or I really enjoyed.
I feel like everyone did their part in this movie. It wasn't just one stand-up. Yeah.
But like, I don't think in the Mario games like Peach isn't really like this, but in this movie they made her like way more cool, and I really dug it. And it makes sense from the story standpoint. She said in the movie that like she's lived here her whole life, from what she can remember, because she is human. I'm not. It's not really a spoiler about like, but I'm still not going to talk about it because they still don't tell much about her backstory before she came here. But it makes sense that she's as cool as she is, and yeah, I really like that about this. Yeah, and everyone did a really good job.
Yeah.
So,
for sure, and usually, I talked a little bit about this, but like with the video game to film adaptations, it's like some of them will go so far astray from the original source material that it won't become coherent anymore, and it's not like tangible to the audience, and it just takes away from like the overall story. I think this stays true to all of it. Gosh, that was a lot louder than I thought it would be.
We're picking up everything on here, so any movement, like that,
any sudden movement in our headphones, it will just vibrate everywhere. But I think this stayed true to the source material, made some changes in the overall story, but was coherent throughout. And I have to give so much respect to Nintendo and all the people that were involved. And what was his name? Aaron Horvath was the director for this. I think that was his name.
I tried to keep it when the credits rolled and they showed directed by. I tried to keep them in my memory like twice. Both times I watched them, okay, try to remember that name. I can't remember the names.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's a guy that we've seen before.
I think it's on like other Illumination related stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but I just have to give big props to those guys. Also, like the sets, awesome. It just made me go back to Mario Kart and Super Mario.
Like, I want to play it after we finish. Oh yeah,
after this, we're totally hopping on the
like, it's literally like the game. You like copy.
Yeah.
Paste the movie.
The movie. So yeah, exactly. If you want to watch a movie, that's like literally bringing your childhood to life, this is exactly what you need in your life.
It was really well done. And so you said something about the nostalgia factor, just like being like, oh, it's so good. But the nostalgia factor can also be kind of a problem to a degree, Yeah. Because when you make a movie, like you want, like story is like key in the movie. And the story in here is just like really straightforward. And sometimes that's okay, But in here, the movie kind of relies on nostalgia to carry it, if you know what I mean. Like the visuals and like, oh, the things like, oh, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel my child. So you have these good feelings inside. But say for people who they didn't grow up on Mario and they're watching this, like, oh, this was right. Also, something that I had a problem with is kind of the fact that Illumination made this movie. Because like, think of like Secret Life of Pets. You just think of like, oh, it's like really kiddie, like, and like, I don't have much interest in like going to watch Secret Life of Pets. Like Despicable Me is cool, but like Minions, just like Trolls. Oh, they're DreamWorks.
Oh, I thought that was Illumination.
And so Illumination, they're very kid friendly. Like if adults go to watch it, they won't have as much a good time with an Illumination picture versus Dream or Pixar or something like that. Because Pixar, both adults and kids can enjoy just as much. Because there's something in it both for them. With adults here, of course, Mario's nostalgic, and so that'll be fun. But it's very kid humor, and sort of like kid lines. They're like, oh, I got beat up. Like, oh, that's gotta hurt. Like, and as an adult, you're just like,
like, what do I do with that?
you're like, okay.
Meanwhile, your kid's laughing his head
Yeah,
off.
it's not like clever jokes, really.
Yeah.
Like, there's like fun, there's jokes, and you're like, haha, it's like slapstick, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But it could have been written better. Like, if this were in the hands of Pixar, imagine what they could have done.
Yeah, they could have did really well with it.
But,
not to take anything away from what I thought these guys did incredible.
Yeah, that would be like my only complaints, really.
Yeah.
And compared to like other Illumination related movies, this was probably better than like others. And so, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about like the nostalgia carrying throughout the movie. This movie does heavily rely on a lot of that. And I can see why. I mean, Mario is one of the most well-known video game franchises in the world.
It's like the video game franchise.
It's the
most
one.
well known for sure.
And you want to do the highest respect to this. You want to do everything you can to not only capture the older audience, but also the younger audience. And in doing that, I feel like they did try a little bit too hard with kind of like the cash grab jokes and like the mediocre humor sometimes. So
yeah.
I'm glad that we were together on that. But I thought that the story was well written, even though they strayed a little bit from the original story. Didn't you say it was Peach being kidnapped?
I'd prefer that they
and
like
they
go
needed to
save,
rescue her.
Like they don't need to save Peach, but
They actually need to save Luigi.
Yeah, they need to save Luigi.
So it's Luigi and Peach swapped.
Yeah, so they swap, but like they could have like done something different. They don't have to like, oh, the story has to be they saved someone.
Yeah.
You know.
It works either way.
It like still works, and like I'll have a good time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough to go see it a second time. But I don't know.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, it was good. Something that you said earlier is these like the accents. You're like, why don't they have like the Italian accents or something like that? In the movie, if you go see it, it's also in the Super Bowl trailer. If you saw that, they do like the rap. If you think of like a Mario Luigi voice, you think of it's me, Mario, wahoo, and people were kind of complaining that Chris Pratt wasn't doing that in the trailer that we saw. And we're like, oh, he's gonna be terrible. But if you were just hearing, oh, yada yada yada, oh, blah, 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 yeah, that would get old kind of quickly.
It would.
And so they kind of explained it towards the beginning. They did it for a commercial. They're talking like that in the commercial, and then in real life they have more Brooklyn/Italian accents, and so that actually really works.
It does, and the fact that they're Italian American.
Italian American, right?
Right.
And
they
so
have that.
and you never think to yourself, you're like, oh, this is distracting. The fact that they're talking like this. That's never a thought that went through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I often like forgot that like Chris Pratt is Mario. Like he does a really good job as Mario. I never was distracted. There's no performance that like distracting. Like Charlie Day is really good as Luigi as well. Like everyone does really well. A part of me thinks I'm kind of repeating things.
What'd you give it?
With a property like this, I think it could have been like elevated within the hands of like DreamWorks. I mean, like DreamWorks maybe, and like mostly Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
And so that might notch it down a bit for me. So I'd probably give like a high yellow.
High yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just enjoyed it so much.
It's good. It is good.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it, but I feel like there could have been more. You know.
I gave it a green.
Give it a green, like a middle green.
Middle green.
Middle green.
Right there.
Nice.
I just think it did so much justice to my childhood, and it's everything that I wanted in a Mario movie. And even though I wasn't a fan of some of the things, also, Thank you, Nintendo, for bringing back Rainbow Road. I needed it. I needed it. Oh, they showed it even in the wallpaper. I was so stoked. Yeah, like in the top right. I was so stoked when they showed that. I was like, yeah.
They take like aspects of like a lot of like popular games and put it in here, like Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart, just like standard Mario stuff. I guess Donkey Kong to a degree.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, they put it all in here. Not everything. It's not so crammed, so you're distracted by the nostalgia to a degree. But I don't know. They did a really good job to the fans, and so yeah, really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, go see it. Bring your kids. We don't have any kids, so
bring
yourself.
I guess. Yeah, bring Mario fans. Yeah, I recommend it. Go see it.
Go see it, and
doing really well so far, I think.
I mean. Oh, and also, I was going to bring this up as well, too. I think out of, like, I don't know, 20 or 30 video games turned films, only 5 have gotten over, like, a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I heard about that, yeah. This is going to be above that.
Oh,
well,
yeah, for sure.
Actually, right now...
Right now, it's kind of leaning on the edge.
Yeah, the tomato score is low, but, like,
so
the audience score definitely can go up. I'm sure it's going to go up. But even if it doesn't, audience score is going to be, like, way up.
Yeah.
And so...
It's better than Tomb Raider, though, so that's a lot.
I didn't see Tomb Raider. I didn't see any of them.
I saw it. It was terrible.
Oh, the Angelina Jolie one or the Alicia Vikander?
Yes, her.
I heard that was pretty good.
Really?
Uh-huh. I don't know. We'll have to see it. I'll have to see it. I don't know. I say that's about wraps up the
Thank you for watching, and comment, like, subscribe. Go see more of our stuff, and
from what we have. Yeah, go see it. At this point, we only have, like, one other thing. So, yeah, please support.
Thanks to our faithful subscribers. What's your favorite?